How you guys doing today? This is a test. We're in beta, so it might not be the most professional, but it's organic. It's the way I like to eat and live my life. So today's book review is called Recovery, a Guide for Adult Children of Alcoholics. Really good book. You can get it at your local bookstore or Amazon. It's only like 100 pages, right? Yeah, 115 pages. But I'm an adult child of an alcoholic, and a co-alcoholic, they call it. So basically raised by two dysfunctional people. And my mom was raised by half a parent, we call her my grandma, half a person because she's not quite right. She had a bit of an alcohol problem. I think she was raised by an alcoholic. So a great grandparent was one, and I think she was beaten when she was young, and then she had got into a car accident. She was never right since. She's just amazed that my mom turned out halfway normal, even though she's the alcoholic in our family. So I tend to get some interviews from family members about these real life events to attest to what we've gone through. So this book is basically a bunch of 80 questions, really good content, and then it's by a PhD and child psychotherapist, and they're both in Santa Barbara, California. This book was written a while back. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, I should have been more prepared. This is again the test. Yeah, it's like 1985, but it's like they're talking about my family. Really good. So what we're going to talk about is some of the basics. A lot of people, I feel that the families of the alcoholics have forgotten, because they're like, well, you got a successful life, you're fine. Even though they're unhappy, they don't know why. They have a hole in the heart, is what I've coined the phrase about alcoholics. You've heard that before, right? They feel empty and unhappy, they have a good life. So what's wrong with me? That's in 26. Question number 20. So what is the adult child of an alcoholic? Very simple. Did I even read the introduction? And if we go to read the books, don't feel like you have to read every word. Get what you can out of it. Then if you're like, it's boring or whatever, go read another one on the same subject, or read 6 at a time on the same subject. They've done some studies that you, how do I say, cross-pollinate, or I don't know, for lack of a better word. You analyze better with a bunch of different feedback from different places. Okay. I don't know if we have to ask that question. What is an adult child of an alcoholic? Basically, someone who shows many of the traits of an alcoholic or dysfunctionalities despite not drinking at all. They can be called a dry alcoholic or a co-alcoholic. The mate especially can be like that. My dad was certainly a co-alcoholic. He was raised by an alcoholic, and it's weird, that they lie. My dad would try to say, "Oh, I wasn't raised," and my father wasn't raised an alcoholic. But my mom, she was told a long time ago that he was, and never forgot. So both sides of the family, I got a double whammy. And going through this can be a little bit scary. that's okay. You can take a break, recover at your own pace. By the way, I move back and forth because I'm on my bounce ball. I don't like to sit in chairs. I have a little bit of sciatica, so move around. I think that's the best. It's proven to be ergonomic. Or you can have a treadmill desk. Those are great. Those are people that use them. So, ask the question, when did it all begin? Well, for most people, it was when they were a child and they thought things were normal, the way they were raised, but we don't know what is normal. We never felt like we were kids. We asked what happened in my childhood. I was basically like the caretaker of the family, so yeah, I didn't really have a childhood. They described me as the most serious young person they ever met, like I was the little president. I was just trying to keep everybody together, try to be perfect. That's a big one that we try to do. So how can we adjust to life? How do children survive in such a repressive environment? And I played all the roles in the alcoholic family. Let's see. Okay, this is great. Your current perceptions are contaminated by your perceptions of the past, and your perceptions of the past have taught you to be very wary of warmth, caring, trust, freedom, choice, negotiation, give and take. So, it's no surprise that even in the midst of plenty, many adult children continue to starve, or they may find long-term intimate relationships are not possible for you. So basically, your interactions with other people have been tainted, poisoned, and it's not really your fault. This is what you've been taught, and you can unlearn them. Take some time, and through my book reviews and the course that I'm going to do, we get to try some of these techniques out. We get to do them together. At first, it'll be basically virtually free, and then later, after we get the program really running, it'll cost the appropriate amount. But so yeah, that one, I don't remember much from my childhood. Is that common? Yeah, it's pretty common. It happened to me. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm like, I don't remember a lot. Certain things I do, certain key things, but it's like, I think I've blocked a lot of the memories. I think many others do the same. So here's a good one. Why is it important to acknowledge alcoholism in my family? Well, what you don't acknowledge, you cannot recover from. If you say, like for me, I've had Lyme disease. I believe it's in remission now. But if I didn't come to grips with it, because I didn't know before, I didn't know what it was. I would not be able to target it very precisely like I have been lately and overcome the disease. So same with being part of an alcoholic family. You have a disease and you don't have to acknowledge it, and you don't have to work on anything, right? But if you're part of an alcoholic family, then it's affected you. You might have been able to get away with being pretty functional in life, It's only when people's lives become unmanageable, according to the Alanon 12-step program, only when your life becomes unmanageable, then people wake up and they say, oh, okay, well, there must be something wrong. But I'd be like, it's better to work on it. Who is it that said, work on things that are hard when it's easy. Like save money now, because when you really need money, try saving. Or trying to borrow money from people or the bank when you really need it, money becomes even more scarce. So working on things from a position of strength is the best. Like I hope to get my sister to see these videos and to work on herself. My one sister, she works on herself. Tries anyway, she has a therapist. The other one has buried all this crap for many years. She's getting to that midlife crisis point. Maybe she'll be ready soon. Not pretty. Not pretty. But we have to get to the point where we're like a mess. I want to change that before we'll work on ourselves. We gotta hit rock bottom. And then sometimes even then, we'll blame everybody else. Forget it. That's too hard. Or I'm not worth it is a common expression. Low self-esteem for children who are raised by alcoholics. What's the best way to take care of myself while I'm confronting core issues? Page 55. That's a good one. I think that's a key. I think that's why I didn't underline that one. But we use the illustration, you know, when you get on a plane, they tell you in the vent we lost cabin pressure and the oxygen's getting low. Then put on your mask first, then help other people, right? You have to take care of yourself. And remember, you have to be patient with yourself. Remember, it took years to get where you are now, and you cannot fix everything in a day. So in the meantime, you're going to feel some pain, like I do. Look at the illustration with doing detox of heavy metals and bacteria buildup in my body from the Lyme disease. I have to do it at a good pace or I freak out. And I have to comfort myself a bit, you know, take appropriate amount of rest, exercise. So it's been said, exercise, meditation, and reading well, those together, they can be so powerful. Excuse me. People, if you chunk things together and you hit your problem. One doctor told me one time, because did I know I had Lyme at the time? No, I didn't. Not quite, no. I just told him all my symptoms, you know, and he was like, well, whatever your problem is in life, if you hit it from 7 different directions, go after it. Don't just do one thing. Well, let's see if this works. You know, I know someone, family member, who would go on diets and then say after like a month, oh, that thing doesn't work. But they wouldn't change their thinking, their exercise, their TV habits. They wouldn't do anything, but they would just try that one thing. And that's kind of a lame attempt. And again, to me it shows you don't really love yourself that much. People can be raised by alcoholics, and it's another thing the book doesn't talk about, but narcissists, a lot of the alcoholics or the co-alcoholic can be, which is the mate, can be a narcissist. They're raised by narcissists, and that's one of the reasons why they have the alcohol problem. It's an unbalance of self. Thinking too much of yourself, but then you put yourself down to show, oh, how humble I am. It's just, any extremes are not good. You know, you have to just be right in the middle with self. We're all on the same boat to China, my dad would say. I don't know what that means, but Yep. So that's the first half of the book that I wanted to go over, and the final one of this section. How will I ever be able to get rid of all these problems? Number 61. Well, oh, this is a great illustration. I love it. I want to do some animation about this illustration that they talk about a car. It was in the driveway. It was old, and the neighbors were complaining. This is so ugly. It's an eyesore. We don't want it here anymore. But then the woman, she didn't have a lot of money, so she started working on it. She went on YouTube, looked, and found out how to repair engines. So she got that done. Then she got it painted, some new tires, and then realized, hey, this thing's worth some money. It's a valuable vintage car, and all the neighbors were like, ooh, I want to drive this car. You know, they didn't realize how valuable it was. So if we clean up ourselves, clean up our lives, you turn all these, what we thought are curses from God or liabilities in our life, into valuable assets that people want to possess. And some people, the best comedians and actors in Hollywood, entertainers, a lot of them, I would say most, were raised in dysfunctional families, alcoholism, or some kind of addiction. And there's one comedian who does something, he flips it, and he's like, yeah, I was raised by a great family. Didn't give me much material for my stand-up. Thanks a lot. Perfect parents. You know, he was ticked that he didn't have more challenge in his life, because a lot of these entertainers are. That's why they are who they are. Because here's the point that we will finish on: is they learned to develop. Some people crash and burn, like my little brother. We'll talk about that later. But some people develop mental toughness, which the definition, does anybody know, is the ability to take any negative and turn it into a positive, and then grow from it and use it as a tool. So with that, I need to go to bed. We're going to do the other half of the book, and then maybe merge these, maybe do 2 different talks on Recovery, a Guide for Adult Children of Alcoholics. Such a good book. Pick it up. Read it. I was only reading 2 to 4 pages before I go to bed every night. I got this thing done, I think, in a week. While I'm working, like I've been part of one of the biggest book clubs in the U.S., and I've been encouraged to at least try to read a book a week. And it's opened my eyes and helped me to start living in a new way. And it's not something to be scared of. A lot of people are. They're like, it's too, I don't know. If you were going to go move cross country or to another country, like when I moved and lived in China, you would get guidance. You get friends to help. You plan ahead. You save some money. And it was an adventure, right? Okay, I know it's going to be hard. It was like jumping off the side of a cliff with a parachute. Like, I know the parachute's there, but... So yeah, it can be difficult. But if you do it with a community like this that I'm building, community where they do it according to knowledge. If you do something in your life, whatever it is, it should be according to knowledge, so that then you're successful. So that old proverb that says, he that proceeds to build a tower, doesn't he first calculate the expense so that he can finish building it? A lot of us children of alcoholics were dysfunctional. We start something and we don't finish it very well, or never start. So, but a lot of times, just starting and having a goal, that's the hard part. We can dabble a little bit, but I feel like a lot of people are ready now to live happy. And that's what this is all about. So turn any negative you have. Let me rephrase that. Turn any negative situation or quality that you have into a tool. Okay? Be strong. Have a good one. Peace out.